Alright, this is Batman and Superman number 3, the landmark first issue of this series that isn't insufferably horrible. I would hazard to say that this is good. The art is definitely good, and the writing and the ideas, they are not as annoying this time. Or at least as annoying as they were last issue. Last issue was dog shit. Let us get one thing out of the way though. Metallica, he was set up in the first issue. Like, he was a huge part of this story. Like, he was going to be the main baddie. Then, he didn't appear in issue 2, but they did mention him a few times. And now, in issue 3, he isn't even referred to once. When you get over the bad plotting that requires everyone in the DC universe to turn against Superman for the weakest reasoning ever, the main parts of this issue are just Superman fighting baddies. And that is good. That is something that the writer, Jeph, he can just about get away with. We have got Banshee here, and she uses her sonic scream powers to knock the Batman plane out of the sky. Sadly, we still maintain the overall anti-Batman bias of the previous 2 issues. But with this one, Batman, he is just fobbed off and he is hardly in it. And I'll happily take that over the alternative that we had in the first 2 parts. So Superman fights against Banshee. Banshee is one of his hard enemies. It's nothing earth-shaking. This isn't revolutionary stuff. It's just a simple superhero fight with a good artist. So it's the closest that the book has gotten to being enjoyable. While this is going on, we also have a televised interview with evil President Lenny Luthers. He has been interviewed by Superman's missus, Lois, and it's not really worth talking about them bits. Batman, he has a fight against 4 different ice-based DC supervillains, and Jeph doesn't like Batman, so that far more intriguing sounding fight isn't really shown. Except to let us know that Batman, he is rubbish, he gets frozen, and he needs Superman to use his heat vision to save him. We get it, Jeph. You think Batman is stupid next to Superman. We heard you the first time in issue 1. You didn't need to keep repeating it for this long. Then we have got Mr. Grumpy and Mongoloid. 2 really big threats that are undermined by this plot that reduces them to just being big brainless thugs. Every few pages we have a single panel check-in on how Batman is fucking up. He's been drowned here. It's starting to sound like a funny comedy where it's like, oh, what's that wacky Batman up to now? Then we have got, there's Mongoloid. The idea is that all these baddies, they are being mind controlled by Gorilla Man. And Jeph, he always has this problem where he grabs villains and reduces them into fodder like he does here. He always grabs the big name villains because he is a proper surface level comic book fan. So he grabs obvious ones like Mongoloid, except Mongoloid is a character who is a warmongering planetary threat. And Jeph brings him so low as to just be a mind-controlled punching bag. And look, that goofball Batman, that clumsy buffoon, he is getting beat up by Mr. Grumpy. And then our next villain for this random run-through of well-known DC super baddies to quickly be disposed of is Lady Deathstrike. And Jeph he has finally found an appropriate bad guy to have Batman fight. So naturally, he cuts away to Superman still fighting Mongoloid. And Superman does a big splash page punch because, as always, Jeph his scripts are like 5 pages long. He relies on crutches like having Ed McGuinness stars draw these lovely big splash pages, or he might run the risk of having to write some more script. So Batman is fighting. We've got an advert here. Jeph Nobles cut away to an advert rather than show Batman. This is an advert for a video game called Grab by the Ghoulies, and it's funny because over here, ghoulies means your balls. And Batman, he gets kicked in the face, but Jeph Nobles actually does bother a bit here, and Batman, he gets to successfully do something. He has a big splash page punch too. I didn't want to praise it because I can see that the only reason Batman scores this win, it's again to find an excuse to have a splash page to fill out the page count. Then a random superhero shows up, 90 sides from the Suicide Squads and Charlotte and Comics. The script makes no reference to 90 sides not being a baddie. They treat her like she is just another villain, and that kind of annoys us. And Jeph Nobles, he doesn't really bother even showing her or have the two fight her because it's Gorilla Man. He's causing all these people to flock towards Superman and fight him. Of course, Gorilla Man, he is defeated with a single punch from Superman. And now it's time for a double splash page. We have got some of the most obvious DC supervillains that Jeph Nobles can think of. They are all attacking Superman and Batman. And these are pretty big name villains like Wonder Woman's arch enemy or Aquaman's chief antagonist. And they're just more fodder and not even featured. This is a massive disservice to these major baddies, and they aren't even given anything to do, since the end is Captain Atom and a bunch of other surface-level DC superheroes. They show up to fight Superman at the behest of evil President Lenny Luthor, and also Major Tom is there, who is a well-known criminal. It's not good, but you can just turn your brain off for this one. Jeph Nobles did, so let's follow suit. It might be less painful than the previous issues, but that doesn't mean I recommend this to anyone unless you like exceptionally unexceptional comic books. I rate it 7 thumbs up.